right, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show here on Newsmax. The preamble returns today to do the job the mainstream press will not do, holding Democrats accountable for the harm they do. That's our focus in today's preamble. Let's begin with the leader of the Democrats. His name is Joe Biden. As you all know, Mr. Biden has been crisscrossing the country telling his left-wing worshipers that Republicans are a danger to the United States. But now that polling is coming back, Joe Biden wants you to forget what he's been saying.
Our differences certainly don't turn a fellow American into a sworn enemy. Building bridges across divides doesn't mean we're sacrificing our own beliefs and our core values.
All right, wait. Now that polling shows that Biden is regarded as the divider-in-chief, Joe Biden is saying that opposing Democrats doesn't make the Republicans an enemy? I'm sure the biased and unfair press will allow Joe Biden to pretend that that's been his position all along. But that's going to be a lie. So the Chris Salcedo Show will tell you the truth.
I know where I stand. I will not yield. I will not flinch. I will defend the right to vote, our democracy against all enemies, foreign and, yes, domestic. The Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. Look, everybody's entitled to be an idiot. No, everybody's entitled. Okay? Look. Extreme MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and our economic security. They embrace political violence.
Okay, not only has Joe Biden been calling those who disagree with Democrats his enemies, but he claims that it is the GOP undertaking violence. But it's not Republicans who've been shooting at Democrats. It's been the other way around.
And that the attacker was apparently a Sanders disciple and a big advocate for him. And this is, again, coming from Senator Sanders. I've just been informed that the alleged shooter at the Republican baseball practice is someone who apparently volunteered on my presidential campaign.
CNN, MSNBS, and the left-wing media have tried to make our country forget about a crazy Democrat devotee who opened fire trying to kill Republicans on a baseball field. I, your liberty-loving Latino, have not forgotten. Have you forgotten? You'd think that after this explosion of left-wing violence or the BLM and Antifa riots, that the Democrats would have toned down their threats of violence. They have not.
We've got to kill and confront that movement.
I yield the floor, but clearly, this is a literally call to arms in our country.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them.
You're in the arena, you got to be ready to take a punch. You got to be ready to throw a punch.
Let this moment radicalize you.
I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. From the
In case you're keeping track at home, Democrats are pushing violence while they're accusing Republicans of pushing violence. And those aren't the only lies Democrats are telling.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border's secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
And the failed border czar there isn't the only left-wing extremist trying to push these lies about our multiple illegal immigration crises.
We're not going to be like those municipalities and states where we fly people to Martha's Vineyard, where we put people on buses and have them fail to get the basic items they need. And anyone who states that this administration does not have a handle on this crisis, they must have been sleeping under a rock.
Okay, let me tackle the last comment made by New York's mayor first. He claims if you think the Biden regime has lost control of our border, then you must be living under a rock. Well, I suppose you can call West Virginia's Democrat Senator Joe Manchin a rock-dwelling troll, because in a recent interview, Joe Manchin said of Kamala Harris's claim, it's, quote, wrong. She's dead wrong on that, end quote. So there's a member of the New York mayor's own political party calling out Mayor Adams' absurd claims. Bears pointing out that Adams sent a delegation to the U.S. border, but in my opinion, was too lazy to go himself. What about the mayor claiming that he, as a good Democrat, won't be flying illegals to left-wing bastions like Martha's Vineyard?
Biden would fly people in the middle of the night, dump them all across this country. There was no warning on any of this. And all those people in D.C. and New York were beating their chests when Trump was president, saying they were so proud to be sanctuary jurisdictions, saying how bad it was to have a secure border. So our message is, we're not a sanctuary state. We don't have benefits or any of that. There are some sanctuary jurisdictions, and that would be better. Now, what would be the best is for Biden to do his damn job and secure the border.
See, my friends, that right there is called leadership and holding Democrats accountable for the harm they're doing to us and not letting Democrat lies go unanswered or unpunished. And that leads us to Senator Ron Johnson. As we all remember, the biased press, big tech censorship oligarchs, and the Democrat Party claimed that the Hunter Biden laptop, which points to Biden family corruption and influence peddling to America's enemies for cash, they all said it was Russian disinformation. Well, it turns out it was the leftists who were spreading disinformation, but left-wingers don't want to be held accountable for their disinformation. That's something that Senator Ron Johnson found unacceptable.
He said, I generated a partisan political report that is rooted in Russian disinformation. Mr. Chairman, do you want to retract that false allegation now? Now that we know that the Hunter Biden laptop is accurate, that there has not been one scintilla of information provided in Senator Grassley's and my report that has ever been refuted. It was 100% accurate. And yet you, as ranking member of the committee, accused me repeatedly of soliciting and disseminating Russian disinformation. Do you want to retract your false allegation here that you issued in your press release on September 23rd?
No, let's just focus on what we're trying to...
Well, I'm focusing on this.
Now, what would have happened if another crazy left-wing supporter heard Senator Peters there, his disinformation, accusing Republicans of spreading Russian disinformation falsely, and again, opened fire on Republicans because of it? That's why Democrats' rhetoric, gone unanswered and not corrected, is so dangerous. It's why the conduct of the vast majority of the press out there is so dangerous. If they don't correct the record, as I just have, that disinformation can fester and lead to violence. The violence being advocated by sitting Democrats in Congress. The current GOP leadership sees no wisdom in pushing back against their Democrat friends. They see no wisdom in defending themselves or their constituents from left-wing lies. They see no wisdom in coming up with innovative, conservative, and constitutional ideas to push back on the Democrats' violence and socialism. And that's why the Republican Party needs new leadership.